Okay, we will go ahead and get started for today and see if anyone else joins us. So today we are focusing on in the garden or gardening, stuff like that. So let's get this started. So I guess the first question I have for you would be, if you could grow a garden, what are some things you would grow in your own garden and why? So if you were going to start a garden, what kind of things would you grow in your garden and why?
Vegetables.
Vegetables? What kind of vegetables? Do you have specific vegetables you like?
Tomato.
Tomatoes?
I would just plant anything that you can eat.
Okay. Plant anything you can eat. That's always a good option to plant things. It kind of makes it so you don't have to go shopping at the grocery store to get your vegetables and stuff. You could even plant some fruits depending on what fruit you were thinking about planting. So what do you guys know, what is the difference between a fruit and a vegetable? Any ideas? No? Okay, so we are going to watch a video that will tell us a little bit more about what is the difference between a fruit and a vegetable.
Taking care of our plants at the fort is one of our favorite things to do. And the best part is, sometimes we get to eat what we grow. We grow lots of plants, including vegetables like lettuce and carrots, and fruits like blueberries and tomatoes. Yeah, you heard me right. According to scientists who study plants called botanists, both blueberries and tomatoes are actually kinds of fruit, even though a lot of people call tomatoes vegetables. But how do we know the difference between fruits and vegetables? It can be tricky, but if we learn a little bit about how plants grow, we can make a pretty good guess. So let's start with how plants start. Seeds. When a young new plant begins to grow from a seed, it pushes its roots deep into the soil and stretches its stem and leaves up towards the sun. Sometimes the roots, stems, leaves, and flower buds of a plant are edible, which means we can eat them safely. And we call all of these edible plant parts, including unopened flowers, roots, stems, and leaves, vegetables. Check out this popular favorite, the carrot. If you look at a carrot as it's growing, you can see its leaves and stem grow above the soil. The part that we usually eat grows down in the ground. That's right, the carrot is a root. And since it's a root that we can eat, it's a vegetable. All right, now what about fruit? The fact is, every fruit starts with a pretty blooming flower. Flowers not only look and smell nice, they also do something really important for the plants that make them. They help plants reproduce. When a living thing reproduces, it makes more of itself. And plants that make flowers reproduce by making seeds. In flowering plants, a seed starts to form in a special part of a flower, which begins to swell as the seed gets bigger. A lot of the time, this part of the plant keeps growing around the seed to protect it. Eventually, the flower falls off, and the swollen part of the plant that's left behind becomes what you and I know as a fruit. So, if it's an edible plant part like a root, stem, leaf, or unopened flower bud, it's a vegetable. If it's part of a flowering plant that has a seed in it, it's a fruit. So, do you think you can guess whether what we're growing in the greenhouse is a fruit or a vegetable? Let's go for it. We'll start with a delicious plant that's super good for you, spinach. What do you think spinach is, a fruit or a vegetable? A vegetable is right. Spinach is a leaf. If we take a look at the spinach plant, we can see that it has roots to hold it in the ground, and that its leaves are held up by a stem. Good job. How about a cucumber? What do you think, fruit or vegetable? Right, a fruit. If we look at a cucumber plant, we see it has roots, stems, and leaves, but those aren't the parts we eat. Cucumbers also make flowers. It's that special part of a flower that becomes the cucumber fruit. If we look inside a cucumber that's been cut, we can see its little seeds. Let's try one more. How about green peas, fruit or vegetable? Believe it or not, peas are a fruit. pea plants make flowers, and parts of these flowers become the fruit that we call a pea pod. If we eat the peas in the pod, we're actually just eating the pea seeds. Now, sometimes it's hard to tell what something is in the supermarket. Sometimes we grow fruits that don't have seeds or have seeds that are too small to see. It can also be tricky to tell if something's a root, stem, or leaf. But it's always fun to see if you can guess what in your shopping cart is a fruit and what's a vegetable. Just make sure you eat plenty of both. Thanks for joining.
Okay, so hopefully that helped you guys with learning a little bit better about what the difference is between a fruit and a vegetable. So did you guys know that tomatoes were fruits, or is that new information to you guys?
That's like sort of new information because the show I watched, and one of the persons said that fruit, that tomatoes are fruit, and well, he
Oh, okay. So here are some things things to plant in your garden. So you want to make sure that you plant things that you would eat. You don't want to plant things you want to eat unless you know somebody that would be willing that you could give it to or even maybe sell it to. And when I was researching for today, here are just some things that grow well in Nebraska. Lettuce, peas, spinach, radishes, beans, cucumbers, melons, corn, basil, and squash are easily directly sown from seeds right into your garden. And if you're one of those people that really like to plant and you could benefit from planting inside first and then taking it outdoors, you could plant broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, eggplant, peppers, and tomatoes. And then if you like fruit, not a lot of fruits grow in the ground per se, but there's apple trees and peach trees and pears and plums and apricots and cherries that you could grow also. So here are just a few of the fruits and vegetables that I thought we could talk about today. So cucumbers, I like to eat cucumbers. I think if I would ever have space to do my own garden, I would probably consider growing cucumbers. So how you grow cucumbers is you give cucumber plants sunlight and good soil, and for the best tasting fruit and optimum yields, you grow the plants in a sunny spot and in warm, fertile, and well-drained soil. And there are some nice health benefits to eating cucumber. It's high in nutrients. Cucumbers are low in calories but high in many important vitamins and minerals. It contains antioxidants and it promotes hydration. So they can kind of help rehydrate you if you're needing a little extra water. And then you have tomatoes, which, like we said, are actually a fruit. They're not a vegetable. To plant tomatoes, you have to dig a hole twice the diameter and depth of the tomato root ball. So they usually you usually can buy tomatoes, and it gives you the ball that you plant into the soil. And then you place a small handful of all-purpose organic fertilizer or any kind of fertilizer you have into the hole. And then you plant the tomato transplant up to its two topmost sets of leaves and roots and form along the buried stem. And then there are also some benefits to tomatoes. Tomatoes are loaded with a substance called lycopene, and this is what gives them their bright red color, and it helps to protect them from ultraviolet rays of the sun. In much the same way, though, it can help protect our cells from damage. Tomatoes have potassium, vitamins B and E, and lots of other nutrients. And then melons. So this is one of those fruits that we can actually grow in the ground. We don't have to grow them on a tree. And you use fertilizer again, and you would form 6 to 8 inches of a high raised bed to keep the soil warm, because they need warm soil, and plant the seeds 1/2 to 1 inch deep and sow 2 or 3 seeds in a group about 18 to 24 inches apart. And benefits of melons are they're rich in nutrients. They contain nutrients vital to bone health, rich in electrolytes and water, may support healthy skin. It can help boost your immune system and may promote proper digestion. And that's all I have for you on my PowerPoint today. But like I started in the beginning, and some of you joined in late, so I want to ask you guys the question. If you were to do a garden, what would you grow in your garden?
I would grow apples and maybe some oranges.
Maybe some oranges.
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Would you guys grow lots of fruits and vegetables, or would you just start off with a little bit and kind of see if you like it first?
Little and then go up.
And then go up. It's a good choice, you know. If you're new to gardening and you don't know if you're really gonna like it, start off with a few little things and then increase as you decide it's more of a hobby you do want to pursue. It's always a good idea. Do any of you have spaces if you'd want to start your own garden in your like backyard or anything? No? I know one year, the first year I did Summer of Steam, when we were, I did it at the middle school. I did a whole gardening club. I brought different foods for the kids to try, and we even kind of tried to create our own garden outside of the school, and we put them into potting plants where you put flowers and stuff, and we kind of made a tower. Each group, I think I had 3 different groups, and each group got to make their own tower type thing for planting whatever seeds they wanted to plant. I think we planted carrots and tomatoes and cucumbers. I know we planted a couple different things, and they each got to kind of see which way they wanted to go with building their tower and what would work best for growing. So it's always fun to do that kind of stuff. I remember growing up when I was a kid, we had a garden for a while before we got a dog, because we didn't get a dog till I was like 10, I think. But so before we got our dog, we had a nice little garden going in our backyard, and we grew carrots because my little brother loved carrots, and we did lots of other things like lettuce and all that fun stuff. So gardening can be a great hobby. Yes.
We used to grow pumpkins, but the kids around my block, they always came over and smashed them in the street. The schools got to them, so we decided we'll only do we haven't been planted a lot except for flowers and peppers and stuff.
Yeah, I know. Planting pumpkins would be fun because then you'd have your own pumpkins at Halloween time to carve. Be fun. And it'd also be great, you know, like I said, you'd be growing your own garden, so you won't maybe have to go buy that stuff at the grocery store. So do you guys know when is the best time to start a garden?
During the summer.
Yep, you typically want to start a garden if you're going to do gardening type things. You want to start it about the last frost of spring. So you want to start it when spring comes, but you want to wait until all the frost is gone. And you guys know what frost is, right?
Snow? Snow,
yeah. It's when the ground gets too cold still at night. So like right when winter kind of ends, but we're just starting to get into spring, and you know it's a little chilly in the mornings, but it's hotter in the afternoons. There's a chance that the ground could freeze overnight. So you always want to wait and make sure you wait to plant until after you know the ground's not going to get too cold again, because you don't want your plants to not be able to make it. So, do you guys have any questions for me or anything else you want to add to the topic for gardening that you want to talk about today?
No.
No. Okay. Well, tomorrow is going to be about, if I believe right, I believe it's family activities and outings. So make sure you guys come ready to talk about things you like to do with your family outside, outings maybe. If you guys have taken any trips this summer that you guys want to talk about, that'll kind of be what the topic is for tomorrow. But if you guys don't have any more, and so just so you guys know, I am working a little later tomorrow. I picked up a couple extra shifts way at the beginning of summer. And so Zoom tomorrow will not start with me until 4 o'clock, okay? So normally we start at 3, but tomorrow it'll be at 4, tomorrow and Friday, because I have to work until about 3:30. But I still want to get a chance to see you guys before we all go back to school. So I just pushed it back an hour. So I hope you guys will still be able to join me, even though it's at a little bit later of a time, okay? So if nobody has any other questions, I will let you guys go for your afternoon. Yes, buddy, what's up?
We're gonna see you on Friday because tomorrow we have gymnastics at 4.
Okay, and that is perfectly fine. I hope to see you guys on Friday. I know I have a weird schedule this week, so I had to push it back an hour, but I still wanted to get a chance to see you guys.
So we'll see you on Friday.
Okay, perfect. I will see you on Friday. And everybody else, I hope to see you guys tomorrow, okay? Have a great rest of your afternoon. Enjoy the beautiful weather outside.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.